Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight, it was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What kind of slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you for Tuesday, July 22nd. Man, that intro, it at least makes me laugh, man. It helps me get through having all these terrible days. The slump continues. We were 1-3 yesterday. Obviously, I wish it went better than that. It started off pretty decently. Pittsburgh got the win with a shutout over the Tigers. Paul Skeens went 6 innings. Nice start from him. Didn't get overworked in that one either. So at least we nailed that one. I still don't even think I was wrong about Miami, man. I mean, Vasquez was terrible. Yuri Perez still outpitched Vasquez, even though he did allow 2 runs. Vasquez didn't even make it through the 5th inning. He went 4 1/3, and he allowed 7 hits, 1 walk, and the Marlins only got 1 run out of that. Marlins were just failing to get anybody home. They were just jamming the bases full of base runners and couldn't score at all. So I don't even think I had that game wrong, to be honest. The Marlins out-hit the Padres, I think, 9-5 over the course of the entire game, and I think it was 7-4 in the first 5 innings, something like that. So that one, I think, was a bullshit loss. The others were not. I mean, I wish I stayed away from the A's. That one didn't get there, although Jack Leiter, I mean, he was walking a lot of guys, and he got away with it, and Lopez walked some guys and didn't get away with it, so that was kind of the difference in that one. And then Seattle, I mean, Seattle just, they could not hit, man. I mean, Woodruff, I understand. I know he's really good, but I thought that we were going to get kind of a close, low-scoring game in that one, and that Seattle was going to wind up coming out on top in the end once it all came down to it. But that was not the case. Nancy, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. All right. And Nancy, you should be getting the, let me know when you get the GIMP mask. It should be coming to you at some point soon. Weird way to start the show talking about that, right? Hopefully my audio's fine. Let me just double check this as I always do. Great professionalism here. All right, I think we're good. Let's get into today, man. This is going to be the rundown. I always forget to bring up the new graphics that I made here until I do the best bet segment at the end. Yeah, that's right. Enjoy that. Enjoy inspecting the mask or whatever. WNBA is back, by the way, and I'm not going to recommend any WNBA plays today. I will have 2 baseball plays today, trying to be a little bit selective. I have what I think is the best side and the best total. One of them is, of course, the big game that I have in the description here, which trying to get the eyes on it, man. I'm going to talk about one of the biggest games, Yankees Blue Jays. WNBA, they're coming out of the All-Star break. So, of course, as I always say, when you have breaks like this, you want to look to play against teams that went into the All-Star break hot, because the All-Star break can disrupt that momentum. And if a team went into the All-Star break not doing well, sometimes they can use that All-Star break to fix some things. So you kind of want to use that as just a general way to look at these games. I do have 2 somewhat leans in the WNBA, including in this first game between the Sparks and the Mystics here. This is a quick revenge spot, man. So the Sparks just played the Mystics right before the All-Star break. So this is a kind of a rare scenario, and I'm kind of tempted to actually give out a play on this, which would be on Washington. But the deal is, hold on, let me ungroup these tabs here. Wait a minute, what? I hate how Firefox does this, man. I have these, how do I even get rid of this tab? I don't even know, man. Whatever, I'll just leave it. Anyway, Washington just lost at LA by 19 points going into the All-Star break, and they actually got pretty much destroyed in this game. LA just had the complete upper hand the entire way. It was a little bit of a shooting outlier of a game. LA shot 53.5% from the field in this game, so a little bit of an outlier there. Of course, the game was at LA, so it was kind of expected that Washington would lose the turnover battle, which they also did. I do think that LA is not really quite as bad as their record looks because they have had a pretty difficult schedule, but the tables turn here, man, and Washington gets a quick revenge spot here after getting blown out by LA. They get to face LA again right now, and Washington is favored. And yes, they are the team with the better record, but I still think after they got blown out by the Sparks in the last game by 19 points, I still think the public might have a tendency to look at this and think, oh, well, I'm getting points with LA now. Like, they don't even need to win the game. They just need to have a close game, right? So it almost looks somewhat tempting to take LA here, but I would not do that. I would lay the points with Washington. I think they will make the adjustments here. Quick revenge is definitely a fairly strong way to look in sports like this, and it doesn't come up that often. So Washington, they're already up from 2 to 3.5. So it looks like some of the actual money is coming in on Washington. I won't quite give it out as a play, but that is the best of the WNBA leans today. Scott, what's up, man? Scoot, yeah, scooting his ass on the floor, I guess. Patrick, what's up, man? Good morning to everybody. Hello, GM to everybody. HI. All right. Chicago at Minnesota. I mean, this is a complete mismatch. We have the best team in the league, Minnesota, against one of the worst teams in the league. Minnesota's up from 12 to 15. I mean, the question is, do you want to lay that much of a price with Minnesota? I don't know that you do. Minnesota did actually just play Chicago. They lost at Chicago, and then they had a quick revenge spot and won at Chicago right after that, and they were playing a fourth straight road game. So, actually, it was kind of a difficult spot for them in both of those games. They were able to get the revenge in the second game. They should win this game, but they did go into the All-Star break on a winning note. And after beating Chicago last time out, maybe they won't take them totally seriously. Chicago may be in a spot to play a little bit better because they had the worst game that you could possibly have going into the All-Star break. After they lost to Minnesota, they got annihilated by Atlanta, and they only scored 49 points, losing by whatever that is, 37 points to Atlanta. So I would slightly lean to Chicago, taking the points there, but that is not a strong lean, and the money looks like it's disagreeing with me. Indiana is at New York, which would be a decent game, but unfortunately, Caitlin Clark, who did not play in the All-Star festivities, is still injured, so she's not playing here. And I also love, by the way, how all these WNBA games get ESPN billing. They're like all on the ESPN networks, and baseball isn't on ESPN at all. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you turn on ESPN, is that what you want to watch? You want to watch WNBA instead of baseball? I mean, I know baseball is way less awesome with all these stupid new rules and whatever, but still, it's ridiculous that they're trying to promote this stuff. And for baseball, you have to go to some of these other networks, and it's not as easy to find baseball to watch. Like, I had ESPN on last night, and baseball, of course, was on. One of the major sports. Baseball, I mean, was happening, but it wasn't on ESPN. ESPN had no live sports on last night. They're, let's just rerun the ESPYs. What? I mean, even though Shane Gillis was awesome and he killed it on that show, it was still ridiculous. I'm like, baseball is being played right now. Like, what the fuck are you doing, ESPN? It's all DEI horse shit. But anyway, Caitlin Clark is not playing in this game, which is basically why the Liberty are such a huge favorite. They are up from 9 to 10.5 now. By the way, it looks like there is some cash coming back in on the Chicago side in that game I just talked about. And on the Liberty, as they're up to 10.5, they have 81% of the cash, I guess, and 50% of tickets evenly split. But I would disagree with it. I would not want to touch the Liberty in this game. The Liberty just beat Indiana going into the All-Star break by 21 points. That was also without Caitlin Clark. That was also at New York. So this is a little bit of a revenge spot as well. The Liberty were 9.5-point favorites in this game. They blew out the Clarkless Indiana team here. I think Indiana does show up with a better performance. I mean, this game was a total outlier, man. I mean, look at what happened in this game. The Liberty shot 57.8% from the field and 51.9% from three. That's never going to happen again. These WNBA teams usually shoot like 30, low 30s probably from three-point range, and Indiana had a particularly horrible shooting game, 36.8% and 25% from three. That's not going to happen again either. Indiana actually won the rebound battle in the game. Yes, the Liberty are one of the top two teams in the league with Minnesota. Yes, Indiana doesn't have Caitlin Clark, but I expect Indiana to play at least a closer game in that one, so I would lean to taking the points with them. Minnesota, yeah, they probably are the best team. It's between them and New York. David, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Atlanta is at Las Vegas here. This is one of the most competitive games, maybe the most competitive game, at least based on the line. The Aces went into the All-Star break with a lot of scoring over 100 in a crazy game against Golden State where they only won by 2, and then they only beat Dallas by 4 and scored 90 points. So Vegas had a couple of close calls against a couple of inferior teams, so they may be thinking about that coming out of the All-Star break, but they did score a lot of points. So I don't know what their mindset is going to be here, but I think both teams are going to show up because this is a game between two good teams. Atlanta is coming off that very satisfying blowout win that I mentioned over Chicago, though. So maybe they're in a little bit of the they're in a spot that's a little bit less good, I would say. It is their 4th straight road game, but it's not really a continuation of a road trip because they had the All-Star break, so they probably had some time to go back home and whatever, and then did the All-Star stuff. And I don't remember where the All-Star festivities actually took place, but whatever. The money is coming in towards the Atlanta side here as Vegas is down from 2.5 to 1 here. Not entirely sure that I would agree with that one either, though. And then Dallas is at Seattle. This is a bit of a mismatch as well. Seattle went into the All-Star break with a win, a somewhat close win over Golden State, a very low-scoring win. Seattle seems to be playing some low-scoring defensive games here. They're definitely a talented team. They're certainly the better team over Dallas, although I am expecting Dallas to continue to improve as they get used to having their new lineup here. They basically rebuilt their entire team this year, but Dallas, they did also go into the All-Star break on a 4-game loss streak, so they might be in like a bounce-back spot type of scenario here where they went into the All-Star break on such a bad note. They might show up and play well. And if you're expecting it to be, somewhat of a lower scoring game, although maybe we shouldn't expect that because this is actually one of the higher totals today. But the way that Seattle's been playing, it might be a little bit more difficult for them to cover a 9-point spread. Money looks like it is coming in on Dallas for now, but we'll see if that actually winds up being the case. And I will say, Washington, when they did play LA the last time, that was a second straight road game where they had gone to the Pacific Coast, and they had just won against Vegas and Seattle in the 2 games prior, so it wasn't exactly the best spot for them against LA in that game. So another reason to maybe look towards Washington today. Will, what's up, man? Good morning to you as well. Good morning to everybody. All right. Game morning. Yes, that's what GM stands for. All right, let's get to the meat, baby. Let's get to the Meat League baseball here. Meat League of beef. Some big, beefy baseball boys here. Going to try to talk about every game, man. Can I do this quicker than I usually do? I don't know. I don't know if I can. Yeah, that's right. Shane Gillis made an awesome joke about that. He said that Caitlin Clark, when she retires or whatever, she should get a job at Waffle House so she could continue doing what she does anyway, fist fighting black women. That got cut out, actually, because I had the ESPYs on last night, the replay of it. They cut some of Gillis's jokes out, and they cut that joke out of it. I mean, come on, man. And they cut out his story about Trump as well. But, man, ridiculous. Anyway, Baltimore is at Cleveland. All these games are starting in the evening. This is an interesting pitching matchup between two young pitchers that do have, I think, kind of a high ceiling. But we will see. Cleveland did actually win yesterday 10-5. So Cleveland actually has had some offense recently, although I don't expect it to last. I mean, Cleveland's offense is pretty bad. I don't think either team actually used a lot of their bullpen yesterday. Yeah, the starters, well, Sugano didn't last very long, but there was not heavy bullpen usage for either team here. The bullpen's kind of just, Baltimore's kind of mopped up, and Cleveland let Bybee go 7 innings in the game yesterday. So the bullpens are in decent shape, but I don't know if I really love either bullpen. Brandon Young is going to be pitching for Baltimore here. He is young. His numbers have not been good at all, though. 7.52 ERA, 1.78 whip. He's been a little bit better on the road. Better being very relative there. 6.23 road ERA. Did not have a good outing last time out. He got absolutely destroyed by Miami and gave up 4 home runs and 7 runs and 9 hits against Miami. Does have a 14-2 strikeout walk ratio this month in 3 starts, but Baltimore has lost every one of his last 5 starts. He's only gone 5 innings in 1 start all season. He's not giving up a lot of walks, so his control is pretty good, or has been good at least over the last 5 starts or so, or last 4 starts, I should say. But he's getting hit really hard, so I don't know that we could trust Young here. Cleveland has never seen him before, so maybe because Young is kind of a hard-throwing young pitcher, maybe that is a little bit of an advantage against a weak offense like Cleveland because they haven't seen him before. But I don't know if we can really trust Young. Cleveland has Joey Cantillo pitching. He's been mediocre, 4.17 ERA, 1.44 whip. He's been pretty bad at home with a 6 ERA at home. He was actually coming out of the bullpen for most of the season, and then they moved him to the starting rotation, but he hasn't been going deep into games, although Cleveland actually did win his last 2 starts, both in extra innings, though. He wasn't very good in either start. 2 of his last 3 starts, he walked 3 in each outing. His very last start, he didn't walk anybody and struck out 6 against a bad White Sox lineup, but he still allowed 2 homers and 4 runs and didn't go that deep into the game, so he's not exactly really dominating or anything. They're getting the job done. I don't know. Up against Baltimore, his numbers are not very good, although it's a small 11 at-bat sample size. Mullins has a home run off him, and he's allowed a 364 average, 1,091 OPS. So Cantillo doesn't have good numbers either against Baltimore. So, I mean, to me, the money is coming in on the under in this game, and I think that's pretty dangerous, especially because I don't like either bullpen. It looks like the professional money is kind of thinking, well, you have 2 young pitchers that are kind of unfamiliar to the opposing hitters. Maybe they can get the job done here, but I would not want to bank on that. The total's down from 8.5 to 8, juice to the under, so a pretty significant move, and 82% of tickets on the over, 63% of the cash on the under. The strongest market read says under in this game, but, I mean, that is not something I'm going to want to touch or anything like that. Yeah, there it is, the big beef. Andrew, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Will, what's up? Yeah, my baseball stuff gets way more technical. I think it's easier to listen to me on all the other sports, basically, because I don't really talk about as many like crazy statistics. I mean, that's really a baseball thing, but I mean, you can ask me questions, I'll answer them. I mean, ERA is earned run average, so it's how many earned runs, like runs that are not the result of an error or fielding mishap or whatever, runs that are basically based on actual hits and walks and whatever, that are scored against that pitcher per 9 innings. Whip is walks and hits per innings pitch, which I like as a better metric, because that's how many earned base runners the pitcher is putting on base per inning, which I think tells you more about how the pitcher is actually doing, because he might just be getting lucky and escaping those jams. And then OPS is on base percentage plus slugging, which I think is a little bit of a better indicator of what the batting is actually doing. Because you have batting average, which is literally just, batting average is literally just the percentage of at bats that the guy gets a hit. But OPS includes basically everything. It includes walks and it includes the extra bases. So that's a better indicator of, is this guy drawing a lot of walks? Are these guys hitting the ball hard and getting a lot of extra base hits? So that's why I like to use those stats. But there are all these new stats. Like, all these guys use these advanced analytics now, where they're using, like, expected ERA. Like, what is this pitcher's ERA expected to be based on how they pitched? And FIP, which is, like, fielding independent pitching, which is another metric that these advanced analytics guys use. They're FIPing. They're fapping to those numbers, man. But I'm way too old school for that. I do not do that. So I don't know if that puts me at a disadvantage. I mean, hopefully it does not. But, I've done well in baseball in the past, even though this year has not really been that good. Detroit at Pittsburgh. I got I got Pittsburgh right yesterday. Detroit, I mean, I didn't necessarily expect Detroit to be completely shut out, but Pittsburgh did win 3-0 yesterday. I don't think there was a whole lot of bullpen usage either on either side, so the bullpen's fairly intact. We got Casey Mize pitching today for Detroit in this one. He's been pretty good this season. I mean, I keep expecting him to regress because his career numbers basically say he cannot continue doing this. We'll see if that happens in the second half. 3.15 ERA, 1.22 whip on the season. Those are pretty good numbers. He's been pretty good both home and away. It doesn't really matter. And he did just get named to his first All-Star game, and he pitched in the All-Star game. Didn't do that well. I mean, he gave up a home run, so I mean that could be considered to be a little bit fluky. Went 2/3 of an inning. I'm still expecting him to regress, though, man. His last start going into the All-Star break was pretty atrocious. He gave up 6 runs in 3 innings to Seattle, although he was pitching pretty well in a bunch of starts before that. He hadn't allowed more than 2 earned runs in any start before that, going all the way back to the beginning of June. And he did have a pretty good strikeout walk ratio, too, 24-7 in June. It is still 8-3 in July so far. So you could argue that maybe that Seattle start was just a bit of an outlier. Maybe it was a fluke, or maybe he is starting to regress. But I think the All-Star game could potentially throw him off, man, because a lot of times when you have a guy that's been around for a while like him, they get named to that first All-Star game. Sometimes it kind of lingers, and they are a little bit distracted. They don't pitch that well coming out of that All-Star game, pitching in the next game. So maybe that will affect him. Up against Pittsburgh, his numbers actually are mediocre in 37 at-bats. 7-1 strikeout walk ratio is good. His OPS allowed is pretty good. 614, pretty low. 270 average is not that low. So Pittsburgh has at least been able to hit him a little bit. He's going up against Mitch Keller, who I prefer Keller over Mize. I actually like Keller. He's having a good season, flying under the radar here. 3.48 ERA, 1.14 whip. He's seemingly going to be a trade target, which I've heard some rumors that maybe the Red Sox have him on the list, and looking at the list, the Red Sox potentially going after like Alcantara and I forget who else. Taj Bradley. I'm like, please do not do that. I would actually much rather have this guy, Mitch Keller. I mean, he's actually pitching really well, and he's just on a really bad team, and he's not getting any of the accolades. He's been a little bit worse at home, though, 3.89 ERA, which is interesting because Pittsburgh does actually play better at home. But he's pitching well, man. He had a 21-6 strikeout walk ratio in June, even though Pittsburgh can't hit, and they lost almost every single one of those games, 4 out of the 5. They've won 2 of his 3 starts this month, has a 15-2 strikeout walk ratio this month, and has gone at least 6 innings in all 3 with a 1.37 ERA, so that's pretty good. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 6 straight starts. So Keller is actually he's pitching well right now, and his numbers against Detroit are not terrible. In 39 at-bats, 16-4 strikeout walk ratio, 256 batting average, 751 OPS. So I'm going to lean to Pittsburgh again in this game, man. I don't think it's as strong as yesterday because we're fading Detroit coming off the Sunday night game, but Detroit might be in bounce-back mode after they got shut out yesterday, but Detroit's offense has been cold recently, man. They have not been playing that well. So I actually lean to Pittsburgh in this game. Detroit is very public, 79% of tickets, only 60% of the cash. Detroit laying a price on the road, down from -130 to -124. I don't really agree with that either. Detroit, of course, does have an offensive edge. I mean, that is their biggest edge, but their offense, like I said, has been pretty cold recently. And as I pointed out yesterday, Pittsburgh's bullpen actually might be better than Detroit, so they did have to use some of their better relievers yesterday. But Pittsburgh has actually slightly better bullpen metrics than Detroit does. And with Mize on the mound against Keller, I really don't think Detroit should be laying a price like this on the road, man. And Pittsburgh, as I pointed out, is a lot better at home than they are on the road, and Detroit is not as good on the road. So all of that being said, and the market read is saying this as well, I think Pittsburgh might be worth a shot as a home underdog here, man. Again, I do not think Detroit should be favored like this on the road with this particular matchup. So that's the way that I look at that game. Qbert, what's up, man? Or Fishin' Rick, yeah. All right. San Diego at Miami. Holy crap, we're only on the 3rd game. I'm 25 minutes in, although I did talk about stupid WNBA. I kind of like Miami in this game, man. I mean, I know I gave out a play on Miami first 5 yesterday, and that didn't work out, and it probably should have because Miami actually out-hit San Diego in the game yesterday. They just failed to score runs. This game, again, we're looking at a similar setup to yesterday. Obviously, San Diego has the way better bullpen, but San Diego did use some of their better relievers yesterday, and they had to bring in their bullpen earlier than Miami did. And Miami's bullpen is actually not horrific. I mean, it's kind of a mediocre bullpen. So with San Diego having the less rested bullpen, that kind of closes the gap a little bit on the bullpens. As far as the starting pitching, and obviously I would say San Diego has the better offense, but I don't think it's really by that much either. Stephen Kolek is starting for the Padres, and he is starting to not pitch very well. He started off kind of hot, and since then, he has not been very good. They actually sent him down to the minors, and now they're bringing him back up. He hasn't been that good, though. 4.24 ERA, 1.29 whip. Not great numbers. He has been way better on the road, though, which is just bizarre to me because San Diego has a very pitcher-friendly park, but he has a 2.06 road ERA compared to 9.45 at home. So basically all of his bad starts have been at home. But one of those was last time out, which is probably why they sent him to the minors. He got blasted at home by Texas, which is not a good offense. So that's not a good sign for Kolek. San Diego had actually lost 6 starts in a row that he made, and he wasn't particularly good in any of them, really. He gave up 3 or more earned runs in all but 2 of them, and in 4 of the last 5. His walk rate wasn't that high, but his strikeout rate's not that high, and he wasn't going very deep into these starts either. He went 5 1/3 or fewer in, I believe, 3 of those last 6 is what that is, if my eyesight is right. So he was starting to pitch way worse. They sent him down. Sometimes when a guy gets sent down to the AAA and then he gets called back up, sometimes it does kind of give him a refresher, and he does pitch better, though. He does have good numbers against Miami in 18 at-bats. They only have a 222 average, 522 OPS, so Kolek at least has a matchup that isn't that bad for him here, but I don't trust him at all, man. And I actually like Miami's pitcher here, Edward Cabrera. I know that he's been a good pitcher for a while. He has really good strikeout stuff, but he's been wild throughout his career, but he is starting to pitch pretty well. He is also a potential trade target for the Red Sox, which I wouldn't mind because I actually like Cabrera. 3.61 ERA, 1.26 whip, pitching pretty well. His numbers are good at home, 3.16 home ERA. And he's been good this month, man, actually really good. 17-1 strikeout walk ratio this month with a 3 ERA. That's pretty good. He's definitely in control right now this month, although he allowed 4 runs in 4 innings last time out against Baltimore, which was on the road. But that start, he got hit a little bit hard, but he was not wild. He had 6 strikeouts and no walks. So there were some good indicators in that start as well. So I don't think it's a situation where he's like completely falling out of form and about to pitch poorly. I don't think so. And his numbers against San Diego are not that bad. In 26 at-bats, 192 batting average, a little bit of a high 723 OPS. That batting average is really low. The OPS is a little bit high because Diaz doesn't have a home run off him. He has allowed 4 walks to them. Again, though Cabrera wildness coming into play there. But I like Miami overall in this game. That is the way that I would lean. That is close to being a play for me, actually, Miami. They look like they have the money. They're down from -120 to -118. I would probably go full game on that one because I think, like I said, I think the bullpen gap is closed a little bit because San Diego used some of their best relievers again yesterday. They've been using a lot of their bullpen as of late. 53% of tickets, 85% of the cash on Miami, and you do get them at a pretty reasonable price. And again, the public's going to look at this and think, how am I getting San Diego as an underdog here? Right, because San Diego has the better record. But again, San Diego had a really hot start to the season, and they've been like a less than 500 team since then. So they're not really as good as their record tells you that they are, and they're below 500 on the road as well. Although that analysis didn't help me yesterday. My Boston Red Sox are at Philadelphia, and man, the Red Sox almost stole yesterday's game because obviously Philadelphia should have won that game easily with Zach Wheeler on the mound, who might be the NL Cy Young winner. If he steals it from Skeens, because Skeens is on a bad team. Wheeler has been excellent. But Walker Buehler for the Red Sox actually had like his best start of the season somehow. That's not a good sign for Philly, man. Philly could not even do anything against Walker Buehler. That's ridiculous. And the Red Sox lost on catcher interference in the 10th inning last night. Although the Red Sox were going to lose anyway. I mean, the bases were loaded with no outs, but still, that's ridiculous. That is not true. The Red Sox offense is not garbage. They have been actually quite hot since their young guys have started to coalesce. They have a lot of good young hitters on this Red Sox team. Roman Anthony is putting up stats that are basically unheard of for a 21-year-old as far as his exit. I saw a stat about his exit velocity and his chase rate. His exit velocity is so high, his chase rate is so low that only one other player in the majors matches that, and it's Juan Soto. So Anthony looks like he's the real deal. Meyer looks like he might be good as well. Rafaela is certainly really, really good. Abreu is hitting really well. This Red Sox offense is not bad at all. No, that is incorrect. I'll prove you wrong right now because I have the hitting stats up right now. The Red Sox are 5th in the majors in OPS, and their team batting average is, these batting averages all look low. I know they're, where are they at? They're 8th in team batting average and 5th in OPS in all of the majors. So you are incorrect, sir. And that's including when the Red Sox sucked offensively earlier in the year, too. Okay, I guess, but they were scoring a shit ton of runs going into the break, although it was against bad teams. But the Red Sox offense is not that bad. They might not do well in this game, though. This is an interesting pitching matchup. Both bullpens did not get a lot of usage yesterday, although the Red Sox bullpen is better than Philadelphia's. So at least the Red Sox do have a bullpen edge. Dick Fitz is pitching for the Red Sox here. He's been okay. 4.28 ERA, 1.22 whip. Better on the road, 2.5 ERA on the road, maybe because the pressure is off of him when he's on the road. Red Sox won his last 2 starts, although one, he only went 3 innings. I don't really know why that was the case. I don't know if there was a rain delay or what happened in that one. But they've been kind of limiting his pitch count, so maybe that's why. He was going deeper into games earlier in the season, but then his last start, they let him go a starter's workload again. He threw 91 pitches, beat Colorado. That was his first win of the season. 5 2/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. I know Colorado, very bad offense, but that's a good sign moving forward for Fitz. He's not pitching that badly. He really had one horrific start at one point here, which was against, or actually kind of 2, but really 1 against Anaheim. So I don't think Fitz is that bad. And Philadelphia has never seen him before. So Fitz, he might be giving me Fitz. He might not do well here, but Philadelphia, having never seen him before, he may actually have a decent outing here because, like I say, some of these young pitchers, they can have a tendency to fool opposing hitters that have never actually seen him before because they have to adjust to him. Christopher Sanchez is pitching for Philadelphia, and he is Philadelphia's second best starter behind Wheeler. I think there's no question about that. He's having an excellent season. 2.5 ERA, 1.14 whip. A little bit worse at home, but still really good. 2.96 ERA. He's been really good as of late as well. 33-6 strikeout walk ratio in June with 1.85 ERA. This month, 19-4 strikeout walk ratio with a 1.27 ERA. Going at least 7 innings in all 3 starts. He's allowed 1 earned run apiece in 5 straight starts. Hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs since May 24th. And hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs since the only time he did that, which was April 6th against the Dodgers. So Sanchez, very, very good this year. Although the Red Sox, they haven't seen that much of him, 9 at-bats, but they've actually hit him. 4 for 9. 444 average, 990 OPS. So the Red Sox have hit him pretty well. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Jarren Duran is like an elite hitting speed combo. Basically unlike anything that we've seen. He's in some lists for like the hitting speed combo that not a lot of guys make this list, like for like amount of triples and home runs to start out a career. Jarren Duran, excellent hitter as well. Narvaez is actually a really good hitter as well, though he was the one that got called for catcher interference to lose the game last night. I think it was kind of a bullshit call, though. I don't think it was really his fault. Narvaez has been pretty good for them as well. Yankees probably shouldn't have let him go. But anyway, the Red Sox may at least be able to hit Sanchez because they have actually done it before. We will see. The money in this game seems like it's coming in on the under. 53% of tickets, 58% of cash on the under. Totals flip from 8.5 juice to the over to juice to the under. I hesitate a little bit on that with, I think, offenses that could potentially do some damage. I don't know if we could trust Fitz. Red Sox might be able to hit Sanchez based on the matchup numbers. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I trust Philadelphia's bullpen either, so I worry about that a little bit. Money seems to also be coming in on the Red Sox a little bit. Philly, a huge favorite, but down from minus 200 to minus 190. 79% of the tickets, 75% of the cash. So more of the cash is coming in on the side of the Red Sox. Yeah, I mean, it was not the greatest night for Narvaez as a catcher there. The juice is also referred to as the VIG, basically, which is the that's the amount that the books take. So typically, if you're betting like a spread or something like that, baseball's not a spread sport, really, but if you're betting a spread or a total, the books typically will try to put a minus 110 price on it, which means that you have to pay 110 to win 100, if that makes sense. So that's how the books make money, right? They want to split the amount of money evenly on both sides of that, ideally. So 50% is split between both. And if that's the case, that means the books are gonna win money regardless of the outcome, because they charge you 10% to make the bet. So that's what the VIG is. You have to pay 110 to win 100. So as a bettor, you have to win like 54% of your bets to actually overcome that and actually make money. But in baseball, like in totals like this and whatever, the juice will move around because you're dealing with like some kind of small numbers here where the books are going to say, well, we just don't want to put a minus 110 on either side of this number. Like we'll move the price on that number instead. So like they moved this 8.5 from minus 115 to minus 115 on the over all the way to minus 116 on the under. So that does mean that money came in on the under in this case, I would believe, because that would be really the only reason why the books would shift the juice, which means that you were having to pay more to get the over at first, but now you're having to pay more to get the under. Hopefully that's a decent explanation of that. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not sure what we're talking about there. Better off dead, yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's the breakdown on that one. Cincinnati, Washington, I'm going to skip because I actually am going to give out a play on that. And I'm giving out a play, as you can see in the title, on Yankees, Blue Jays. Anaheim, Mets. Mets won the game, high-scoring game yesterday, 7-5. Senga actually was pretty bad in the game yesterday and got taken out pretty early, which is kind of surprising, which does mean that the Mets used a lot of their bullpen yesterday, and Anaheim doesn't have a good bullpen, so could potentially make sense in this game to fade both bullpens in this game if you are potentially thinking about that. Kyle Hendricks is going to be starting for Anaheim. Not a huge fan of this guy. I mean, he's old at this point. I was definitely a fan of fading him when he was on the Cubs in recent years. He's done a little bit better this year at times, but his numbers are not very good still. 4.88 ERA, 1.29 whip. Not great numbers for Hendricks. He's been worse on the road as well, 5.4 road ERA. And he's not pitching that well recently. He gave up 4 earned runs in 3 2/3 last time out against a pretty bad Texas offense. So that's not really not a great sign for him, although he does still have a 5-1 strikeout walk ratio this month. And last month, 21-5 with a 3.21 ERA. And Anaheim actually has won 5 of his last 7 starts, which actually isn't that bad. So he's pitching okay, but his last start was kind of an indicator that maybe he's falling out of form. His numbers against the Mets are not great in 60 at-bats, 12-6 strikeout walk ratio, 283 average, 784 OPS allowed. So Hendricks, maybe somebody that you could fade here. He's going to be opposed by Frankie Montas, who had a late start to the season here, trying to come back from injury. His ERA is bad, 5.03, but his whip is not that bad, 1.17 whip this season. He's been good at home, though, 3.38 ERA, but again, it is a small sample size. But the Mets did win his last 2 starts. Last time out, he had a pretty good one against Kansas City, but that's a very bad offense there. Fuck you. Get out of my stream costs. Eat my ass, bitch. I got fucking canceled, dude. So if people want to help me out, they're certainly allowed to. Fuck off. Get out of my fucking stream. Cubert, what's up, man? Yeah, Jesus. That is a 999. That's the opposite of 666, I guess. Anyway, I don't know if I'm impressed by Montas having a good start against Kansas City, but I mean, he had an okay start against the Yankees the day before that. By the way, I've paid my fucking dues, brother. You know how much I've paid in fucking taxes. being a fucking software engineer for like 18 fucking years. I've made a lot of money and I've worked every fucking day for like 2 decades in my life. So fuck off, Koss. Montas against Anaheim. Numbers are all over the place, man. It's hard to read into these numbers. 70 at bats. He's on a 229 average, which is pretty good. 736 OPS, not as good. A 14-8 strikeout walk ratio is not very good. And 4 home runs allowed. 2 of them from Lamonte Wade Jr. So I don't know if we trust either starting pitcher here, man. So, and I don't like how the bullpen's set up here. So I would lean to an over in this game. And when I looked earlier, I think the market wasn't agreeing with me on that. Looks like it kind of is. I mean, the books threw out a 9 on this, which is a high total. So, you know, a total is that high for a reason, although I'm going to kind of contradict myself when I talk about the Yankees game. So now you know where I'm going with that game. But this game, total is very high for a reason. I mean, it's bordering on being 10. We have 81% of tickets, 99% of the cash on the over. That is the way that I would look in that game, would be for another high-scoring game there. San Francisco at Atlanta. Atlanta won 9-5 yesterday. Hayden Birdsong in this game didn't even record an out, and he allowed 5 earned runs on 1 hit. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I think he had 5 walks. It was a ridiculous start for Birdsong, terrible start, which meant that the Giants, even though, yes, the Giants have basically the best bullpen in the major leagues, they had to use a lot of their bullpen yesterday. So the Giants bullpen a little bit more tired here. Braves didn't have to use as much of their bullpen, as they at least got a somewhat deep start from Bryce Elder, even though he's not very good either. I think I did say the over kind of made sense in that game yesterday. Hopefully I did. Lucas Hardar, well, he's better than these fucking Twitter assholes. Wills, what's up, man? Fuck the Yankees, that's right, man. As a Red Sox fan, obviously, I agree. Dude, these people are all they are is these progressive, perpetually offended, woke losers that are offended by me covering a Kanye West song on ukulele in the most retarded fashion possible. Like, just like, screw you, dude. All these people do is promote cancel culture. They do not promote free speech in any way. It's just disgusting. All they do is side with the fucking government and side with the regime. Anyway, San Francisco, Atlanta. I think San Francisco's bullpen edge is a little bit negated because of all the bullpen that they used yesterday. Landon Raup is pitching for them today. He's been really hard to predict. 3.27 ERA and 1.45 whip. So his ERA is good and his whip is bad. So he's one of these pitchers that's really hard to figure out. 4.56 road ERA. So he's not been good on the road. He's better in a pitcher-friendly park in San Francisco. He's been pitching okay recently. I mean, he's given up 2 or fewer runs in 5 straight starts, and San Francisco won 4 out of the 5, even though San Francisco's offense is terrible. In the only game he lost, he gave up one earned run in 6 innings and had 8 strikeouts and 1 walk against the Dodgers. That was a great start for him. But his walk rate has been terrible in all the other starts leading up to that. He walked at least 2 in every start going all the way back to mid-May prior to that. So not all is good with Raup. I mean, he has some crazy breaking pitches that it seems like he struggles to command at times. So it's very difficult to figure out what we're going to get out of Raup. He does have good numbers in 30 at-bats against Atlanta. They only have 5 hits, 167 average, 419 OPS. So maybe maybe Raup will do okay in this game. It's very hard to predict again. Yeah, I mean, getting mad about that. It's these perpetually offended bitches, man. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. God, I hate that song so much. Watch me whip and watch me nay nay. I wish you made a Devo reference instead, man. When the hitter comes along, you must whip it. All right. Davis Daniels is going to be pitching for Atlanta. I don't know what we're going to get out of this guy either. This is maybe the most unpredictable game of the day. Daniel has good-looking numbers, 1.8 ERA and 1 whip, but he does not have a big sample size that we're looking at here. He's only pitched in 2 games this season. The Braves lost both of them. He's pitched 5 innings total so far, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks isn't a great ratio, but only 2 hits allowed and 1 run, so that's not too bad. What are we going to get out of Davis Daniel? I really don't know, man. I mean, we don't even have a whole lot of a career to look at here. He was on Anaheim the last 2 seasons. Did make 6 starts last year, but it wasn't good. He had a 6.23 ERA and 1.48 whip. Good strikeout walk ratio, but he got hammered last year. He was drunk all the time, I mean, because he was doing so bad. No, although being drunk could help you, man, if you're Wade Boggs, the most elite drinker in Major League history, by the way. If people are not familiar with the lore, do not watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Wade Boggs drank a ridiculous amount of beer on a cross-country flight. They landed, and he went 3 for 5 with like multiple doubles and a few RBIs against Oakland, basically still drunk coming off the plane. The number of beers that he drank on the plane is now up to like some exaggerated amount of like 73, but I believe that he probably drank like 30-something beers on that flight. I mean, they were light beers probably at the very least. But anyway, Daniel, I mean, his numbers were not good last year. He gave up a lot of hard hits last year, even though he wasn't that wild. So what are we going to get out of Daniel? I have no clue, dude. The Giants have never seen him before, and they are a weak offense. I mean, a game like this, I go and I say, well, what is the market telling us on this game? I mean, the market is the strongest market read is on the Braves. They're up from -109 to -118. 62% of tickets are on the Giants. 59% of the cash coming in on Atlanta. I think that's more of the professional bettors basically just saying, we think the Giants are a little bit overrated and not as good as their record looks, and we think Atlanta's underrated and they are better than their record looks. I think it's probably the only reason why we see the money doing that. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do Whip It as a U cover. I don't know if it would translate at all. You're in Twitter jail again. Yeah, exactly. Twitter is canceling all these people. I have a Wade Boggs jersey, but the autograph I think is a lot better. I never got his autograph. I've gotten some older Red Sox player autographs, but not Wade Boggs. Never seen or met Wade Boggs. White Sox at Tampa Bay. Man. Tampa lost 8-3 yesterday to the White Sox, which is crazy. Tampa at least kind of saved some of their bullpen in that game. The White Sox used more of their bullpen, so we'll have to give the bullpen advantage to Tampa here. But I think we don't know this is a hard game to predict too, man. I don't know what we're going to get out of either starter here. Davis Martin is pitching for the White Sox, and he is coming back from the injured list, which I still call the disabled list. And he was actually pitching pretty well this season prior to that. 3.79 ERA, 1.23 whip. He wasn't pitching too badly. 4.62 ERA on the road, though, so he has been better on the road. And this Steinbrenner Field here is a fairly hitter-friendly park. But Davis, I mean, he was pitching mediocre. I mean, he did not give up more than 4 earned runs in any start, going all the way back to the one start where he did that at Detroit in early April. So he's pitching fairly consistently, at least. Had a 12-2 strikeout walk ratio in 2 starts in June, 20-6 in May. Not terrible. His numbers against, who are we looking at here? I don't even know who are we playing? Tampa? Yeah, up against Tampa. Oh, ESPN switched it for us already. Thanks, ESPN. Tampa only has 3 hitters who have seen him before, and they're 1 for 4 off him with a Yandy Diaz double, but Diaz also has 2 walks. Tampa has 3 walks against him. 250 average with a pretty high 1,071 OPS, but it's in a very small sample size. So Martin is pretty unfamiliar to Tampa, so I don't know if they'll be able to hit him that well. Tampa has Drew Rasmussen pitching. He's been really good this year. 2.86 ERA, 1.03 whip. Pretty good at home, too. 2.64 ERA at home. But with Rasmussen, the thing is, man, he's coming out of pitching in the All-Star game. He had a clean inning in the All-Star game. That might have been his first All-Star appearance, so that might affect him a little bit, too, because a guy this old getting into the All-Star game, I'd have to check to see if that was his first. I'm not sure, but that might linger a little bit. But the stranger thing about Rasmussen is the team decided to totally ramp down his innings pitched. Like, he was starting and doing pretty well throughout the season, and then all of a sudden he goes 3 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings. Like, what's going on here? The Tampa's only letting him pitch 3 innings, 2 innings now. They're limiting him to 40 to 50 pitches basically in some of these games, 32 in one of these games. So I don't really understand why. I mean, he's not a young guy that I think they're trying to save. I mean, I think Tampa's trying to make a run at the playoffs here, and he's been their best starter this year. So I don't really understand why they're ramping him down like that. Maybe it was just giving him a rest going into the All-Star break. So I really have no idea how many innings Rasmussen is going to pitch in this game. He has decent numbers against the White Sox, very small, 15 at-bat sample size, 267 average, 579 OPS. I'm thinking an under might make sense in this game, to be honest. First 5 inning under probably, because I don't think you want to really deal with the White Sox bullpen necessarily. It looks like the money disagrees with me on that. Total's just sitting at 8.5, 67% of tickets, and 95% of the cash on the over. Tampa's a huge favorite in this game as well, so I don't think I would want to touch the side at all. But I think a first 5 inning under, you could be looking at maybe the starting pitchers both putting together a decent performance here. Boggs, oh yeah, that's right. That was a great Simpsons episode. We're talking softball from Maine to San Diego. Softball. Mattingly and Canseco. Ken Griffey's grotesquely swollen jaw. Ken Griffey drinking the nerve tonic from Mr. Burns, and his head was like about to explode. Oh, man. Yeah, that episode was awesome. And Darryl Strawberry is the only one who doesn't, which is hilarious because Darryl Strawberry had so many off-field issues. I think that was part of the joke. He was the only one on Burns's ringer softball team that didn't have any off-field issues, and he was the one that played Homer's position. You're Darryl Strawberry. Yeah. You play right field. Yeah. I play right field too. Oh. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that episode again. That is a classic. Back when The Simpsons was amazing. And they got all those baseball players to voice themselves, too. It was, Ken Griffey Jr., Wade Boggs, Mike Scioscia, I think, was in it, Steve Sachs, Darryl Strawberry. Who else was in it? I forget all the players that were in it, but there were 8 of them, I think. Or no, I guess there were 9, right? Because they had to fill out every position. I don't remember. Anyway, Kansas City and the Cubs. This is an interesting one, man. Kansas City beat the Cubs yesterday 12-4, which is only part of the reason why I'm laughing here. How does Kansas City score 12, man? Well, I told you yesterday I actually leaned to Kansas City in that game. I should have given it out as a play, although obviously I didn't expect Kansas City to score 12 fucking runs. But it was a bullpen game for the White Sox. It was a bullpen game for the Cubs. I apologize, Cubs fans. You're better than the White Sox. In a better part of town, too. Cubs had they had a bullpen game, and the bullpen just got absolutely destroyed in the game. And Noah Cameron had a really nice start for Kansas City, even though he did allow 4 runs. He pitched pretty well in the game. So it was an easy win for the Royals. And I did mention yesterday I preferred Cameron over that bullpen game. But the Cubs are going to come into this game pretty embarrassed, I think, man, off of that loss. And they are obviously a giant favorite here. Part of the reason why I'm laughing so much, I'm about to laugh at your team, Zach, here. Greg Maddux, I don't think he was one of them. I'll have to go back. Dude, I'm a Simpsons expert too, so I should remember this, but I actually don't. I'll have to go back and look. Exactly, Zach. That is what I'm about to make fun of and laugh at here. Rich Hill is pitching for Kansas City here, and he has been in the majors since a couple of his teammates, I think Witt and one of the other guys on Kansas City, were 4 and 2 years old when Rich Hill started pitching in the majors, which is pretty hilarious, but hockey is even crazier, dude. In hockey, you have Ovechkin was in the NHL before Connor Bedard was born, which is even more crazy. But anyway, Rich Hill is coming back, man. He actually made a few appearances last year for my Boston Red Sox. He's from Boston, Mass, baby. He's my guy. I love Rich Hill. He had a 4.91 ERA and 1.09 whip last year in 4 or 5 appearances maybe for the Red Sox last year. He wasn't horrific, but he wasn't great either. He did struggle with walks, I think, last year. He's 45 years old, though, man. He's the oldest player in the league, and he's actually going to be making a start here, which is complete madness to me, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this, although you got to imagine he's probably only going to go 1 to 2 innings at most. As you can see with the Red Sox, it was 4 appearances that he made last year out of the bullpen, and he pitched at most 1 1/3 innings in any of those appearances. The Red Sox lost all 4 of those games. Not really his fault, though, because he only allowed runs in 1 of the 4 appearances and had a 5-3 strikeout walk ratio. I mean, take from that what you will, I guess. He did walk too many guys last year. Rich Hill up against the Chicago Cubs. not very good in his career in 38 at-bats, 316 batting average, and 892 OPS. So the Cubs have hit him pretty well. And he actually was on the Cubs. He's now, dude, it's all so funny, dude. He was on the Red Sox actually multiple different times. He was on the Cubs to start his career, and now he's pitching as a 45-year-old against the first team that he pitched for in the majors. He's going up against his boys, the Cubs. So it might be a little bit of an emotional game for him. But again, I don't think we're going to get more than like one inning out of Rich Hill, man. I think it's just a thing. Like, we're looking at probably a bullpen game for Kansas City here. They didn't use any of their high-leverage relief guys yesterday, so that's good at least. The Cubs didn't really use any of their really good relief pitchers either because they used Ben Brown to eat up a lot of innings yesterday, and he was a guy in their starting rotation. So the bullpens are both actually pretty good and in decent shape coming into this. But, I mean, the Cubs have Matthew Boyd pitching, man, and he's been really good. 2.34 ERA, 1.03 whip. He's having a shockingly good season. At the age of 34, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm not going to argue with it, man, because he's been that good. 20-2 strikeout walk ratio this month. Cubs have won 4 starts in a row of his, and he's allowed 0 earned runs in 3 of those 4 starts, 2 in the other one, and he's coming off an 8-inning, 4-hit shutout against the Yankees, 6 Ks and no walks. He's been really outstanding, man. I had a 1.78 ERA in June with an 18-6 strikeout walk ratio, 0.9 ERA in the month of July with that 20-2 strikeout walk ratio. Yeah, Boyd has been great, and he's facing a bad Royal offense here, but the Royals did explode last night, and the Royals in 78 at-bats actually have a 282 batting average against them and 787 OPS. So the Royals have actually hit Boyd fairly well, actually, and he was in their division because Boyd was on Cleveland, so the Royals are actually familiar with Boyd, so Boyd might not do as great in this game, although a lot of that damage is Perez. Perez is 12 for 49 off him, so he has the majority of the at-bats, really, more than half of them, but 245 average isn't that good, but he does have 2 home runs off him. Still, Boyd, I mean, not great numbers against Kansas City, so what do we want to do with this game? It's pretty difficult to say, man. I mean, I saw Zach said Cubs first 5. I mean, I don't hate that. I mean, if you think Boyd will do well in this game, as he has been doing all season, maybe. I mean, the Cubs are a huge favorite, though. If you go Cubs first 5, it has to be a run line play, dude. So you're going to need them to be winning after 5 innings, which is certainly obviously possible. I mean, they're a big favorite here. You're going to get Rich Hill and then some Kansas City relief pitchers here. Cubs are down from minus 250 to minus 229. 83% of tickets, 85% of the cash on the Cubs. So the money looks like it started to come in on the Cubs, but the initial market move was against the Cubs. So it's hard to read that. It looks like more money's coming in on the over. 65% of tickets on the over, 97% of the cash on the over. And the total is 9. Probably indicating there might be some wind blowing out a little bit at Wrigley, I would guess, because with Boyd on the hill and with Kansas City up against him, you're probably not going to see a total that high unless the wind is blowing out. That would be my guess there. So maybe an over is actually the way to look. Or, you know what? Cubs team total over might not be a bad way to look in this game. Take the Cubs to bounce back in this embarrassed spot here. That might be the way to look in that game, really, man. The A's are at Texas here. Yeah, we're dealing with a severe case of gigantism. Ken Griffey Jr. with his swollen jaw and head from Burns Nerve Tonic. The A's are at Texas. I lost this game yesterday, unfortunately. Texas, 7-2 win. I don't even want to talk about that any further. We do have to look at what the bullpen usage was, though. And the A's, I mean, their bullpen isn't good anyway. There wasn't a ton of bullpen usage in this game on either side. The A's bullpen is obviously worse, though. The A's have the worst bullpen in baseball. And the A's are going with JT Ginn, which might not be good for them either. He's starting for them. 4.91 ERA, 1.3 whip, not great numbers. Pretty similar home and away, so not really a huge difference, even though he pitches in a very hitter-friendly park. But he has not been going deep into games, man. So I think the takeaway here is that Ginn is probably not going to be in the game for a whole long time. He's probably only going to go somewhere around 2 innings in this game, and then you're going to get the A's bullpen coming into this game. Ginn, when he's in there, he also doesn't have good numbers against Texas, even though they've been a very weak offense this year. In 22 at-bats, they have a 364 average and 1,143 OPS against Ginn. So I'm not expecting anything good out of the A's pitching in this game, man. And Jacob deGrom is pitching for Texas. He's been great. 2.32 ERA, 0.91 whip. And I know he set some major league record where he became the only pitcher in their first, I don't even know how many innings it is, with, I don't know, some amount of innings pitched in the major leagues, I guess, having a 2.5 or lower career ERA and 1,700 or more strikeouts. He's like the only pitcher that's ever done that. Crazy. I mean, he's been really good this year as a 37-year-old. He's been basically dominant. He's been really good at home, 1.95 home ERA, pitching well recently. He's allowed no more than 300 runs in any start, going all the way back to Tampa Bay, facing Tampa Bay on April 5th. That was the only time that ever happened. Texas did win all of his starts in June. They actually won 6 starts in a row before they lost 2 of his starts recently, which wasn't really his fault. He was still pretty good in those starts. Maybe a little bit worse. Not totally dominant like he has been, but still pitching quite well. 3.71 ERA this month with a 19-4 strikeout walk ratio. He gets the all-star break to kind of rest up a little bit, which I think is helpful to a veteran like him. I think he should come out with some fire here. He's got pretty good numbers against the A's in his career in 53 at-bats, 12-1 strikeout walk ratio, 245 average, 674 OPS. Really good numbers there. So even though the A's do have the way better offense, that is their one advantage here, most of the advantages all go to Texas, man. I think pitching beats hitting, which it did, unfortunately, yesterday, because I liked the A's yesterday. But in this spot, I mean, you have basically one of the top pitchers in baseball up against a bullpen game. And it's the worst of the two teams going with the bullpen game. So you know Texas is really the only way that I think you could look in this game, even though the money is coming in against it, which is kind of surprising. Texas down from minus 245 to minus 214, maybe just thinking they were too heavy of a favorite. 91% of tickets, only 79% of the cash. And I will say the one drawback with Texas is, like, yes, I think the way that you would have to play this is the Texas run line, but then they don't get the final at-bats in the 9th inning because they're at home. If they're already winning, they won't bat in the 9th. But Texas is such a poor scoring offense that that's the one real drawback there. If you think this is going to be a low scoring game, it has a 7.5 total there, so the odds makers are telling you it's probably going to be low scoring. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Texas to cover a number like that. So that's kind of the drawback there. St. Louis at Colorado. Ugh, God. I mean, this is bad. St. Louis won 6-2 yesterday. I mean, I don't love either bullpen here, and I don't love either starter here, so I'm going to say this is probably an over look in this game. I don't think we want to go into it too deeply. Eric Fetty is pitching for the Cardinals. You know I've been fading him recently, and he's not good. 4.83 ERA and 1.47 whip, pretty bad. He is a little bit better on the road, 4.24 ERA, but he's pitching at Coors Field here, which might not be great. He's gone 5 or fewer innings in 5 straight starts. St. Louis has lost 4 starts in a row of his. He allowed 3 or more earned runs in all of those starts. He has not been pitching well at all. This month, he has a 1-5 strikeout walk ratio, which is absolutely abysmal. 1 strikeout this month so far. Fetty is not in good form, man. His numbers are good against the Rockies. I mean, their offense sucks. 27 at-bats, 259 average, 667 OPS, but I have no faith in Fetty right now, man. So I would not want to bank on him at all. Fetty Wap, yeah. That is his nickname. Also, he's the Fetty wet-ass pussy as well. He's going up against Bradley Blaylock, who is a young pitcher who might get it together, but he has the very, very tough ask of having to pitch in Colorado. 9.97 ERA, 1.8 whip. I mean, yeah, those numbers are real bad. And pitching at Coors Field has been really bad for him. 16.76 ERA. He is not a guy that you want to bank on, even though he did hold Cincinnati to 1 run in his last start, but he only had 1 strikeout, so he's not a guy that's coming in and fooling hitters at all. Doesn't have strikeout stuff. He's given up too many home runs, given up too many hits. I mean, it doesn't look good for Blaylock. Cardinals have never seen him before, but I don't think that's even going to help him, really, even though these young pitchers can have an upper hand against opposing hitters when they haven't seen him before, but I don't think that's going to be the case there. I think this is an over game, and the odds makers have had to adjust these Rockies games way high. I mean, this is an insane total of 12, so I don't know that you really want to go over a total that's that high, but It is that high for a reason. I know the odds makers are having to adjust the totals really, really, really high in Colorado, even though Colorado's offense is terrible. So maybe this is over-adjusted at this point, because usually you see 10, 10.5, 11. So this is crazy high, but it might be that high for a reason. 64% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the over. I would still lean to the over in that one, but if you do that, you're really going to be sweating it and needing some runs there. Yes, sir. Houston at Arizona. This is an interesting game. Houston won yesterday 6-3 to break Arizona's win streak they had going on there. Zach Gallen, actually, I think he didn't pitch that badly. He went 6 innings, 6 strikeouts. I think he had 1 walk or something, but he got hit a little bit hard, kind of some untimely hitting against him. There are timely hitting for the Astros against him, so he wound up losing the game, even though he actually had a better pitching line, in my opinion, than Colton Gordon did. Houston did have to use their best relievers to finish the game off yesterday and get the save. Houston does still have the better bullpen, though. I mean, Arizona's bullpen is really bad. So I still think Houston probably has the bullpen advantage in this game. And they have Framber Valdez pitching, and he's been really good this season. 2.75 ERA, 1.12 whip. Worse on the road, though. He's been a lot better at home. On the road, he has a 4.02 ERA, so he has been worse on the road. But recently, I mean, his one bad start recently was not even that bad against the Dodgers. He gave up 4 runs on the road against the Dodgers, which still isn't even that bad in 6 innings. And if you take that start out, he hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs in any start going all the way back to May 18th. And he hadn't allowed more than 3 earned runs going all the way back to May 2nd. So he's been really, really good. And I believe we're up to the point now where Houston has won, I think, 12 straight starts for Valdez. So they are winning behind him, and that's a crazy run to be on. And his numbers are actually almost completely dominant against Arizona. They're only 8 for 56 off him, 143 batting average, 393 OPS. They do have 8 walks, though, 16-8 strikeout walk ratio, although 4 of the walks are Suarez, so it's kind of like he pitches around Suarez. So it does look like this sets up nicely for Valdez. He's up against Erod, Eduardo Rodriguez, who has been struggling this season, 5.94 ERA, 1.67 whip. He's kind of trying to bounce back from injuries throughout his career, man. He used to be a pretty good pitcher. He is not right now. 6.32 ERA at home in a hitter-friendly park, which hasn't been good. He's been really bad this month with a 12.96 ERA. 10-2 strikeout walk ratio is not bad, but he's been getting blasted. He's given up 5 home runs in 8 1/3 innings this month, 12 earned runs and 20 hits. I mean, he's getting absolutely annihilated. And that was against Kansas City, a terrible offense, and San Diego's pitcher-friendly park. Erod is not in good form right now at all, man. His start against Miami prior to that was a little bit shaky, too, really, with 3 walks. So he is not doing well. Against Houston, his numbers are not very good either. In 53 at-bats, 10-8 strikeout walk ratio. Altuve hits him well, 9 for 27 with 2 home runs. Astros have a 302 average against him and 922 OPS. So I'm leaning towards Houston in this game, man. I think they have the better... They still have the better bullpen, even though they're unrested. They have the better starter. The offense does go to Arizona, I would say, but still... I lean to Houston, but the market is telling me no. The market is going way against it, man. Houston down from -130 to -115, 78% of tickets on them, 52% of the cash coming in on Arizona, though. JC, what's up, man? Yes, OMG, hi. So the market read is saying Arizona. The money's all coming in Arizona, but I would not want to fade Valdez. I think maybe it's just because, again, the professionals think Houston probably just should not be favored like this on the road, maybe. But, man, I think this is a fairly sizable pitching mismatch. You could limit it to first 5 innings if you want, but I don't even know why you would do that, really, because Arizona's bullpen is bad. So even though Houston's is a little bit unrested, I would still do it. Milwaukee, Seattle, this is going to be the pitching matchup of the day, man. And it might be under the radar because maybe people still don't know who these pitchers are, but Jacob Misiorowski is pitching from Milwaukee, man. The young Phenom who was named to the All-Star team, which is absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, I don't think he should have been named to the All-Star team. The fact that he's only made 5 starts so far, although he's been really good, he's only had 1 bad start. And I think in 5 starts, he has a 4-1 win-loss record already. He has a 2.81 ERA, 0.9 whip. He's been worse on the road, though, a 6.52 road ERA. So actually, One of his 2 road starts was bad, so that was his one bad start was one that was on the road against the Mets. He gave up 5 earned runs in 3 2/3. Other than that, he's been excellent, though. He has 33 strikeouts in 25 2/3 innings. 11 walks is a little bit too high, yeah. 4 home runs, maybe a little bit too high as well. But he's only allowed 12 hits, so he's been very difficult to hit. So Misiorowski, I mean, he is a very talented young pitcher. He throws really hard. He can probably get his wildness under control too. But he did pitch in the All-Star game, and so I think this is a lot for a rookie to be named to the All-Star team as well and then pitch in the All-Star game. And he's coming off dominating the Dodgers. 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed, 12 Ks, 4 hits allowed. I mean, that was probably his best start of his young career. I mean, it was. So he's coming off all that. I think he might be in a little bit of a letdown spot, man. So I don't love the Brewers here, even though I gave out Seattle as a play yesterday. I thought the Brewers were in a letdown spot, and I got let down. Brewers continue to just defy that and not get let down. But I think it's going to happen at some point, man, and maybe it'll happen here, although this is a very pitcher-friendly park. But I think that Misiorowski probably will do well again. I mean, the Mariners have never seen him before, so he has that advantage as well. A really talented pitcher with the unfamiliarity edge there. But again, his mental state after that huge win over the Dodgers, the All-Star game, it might affect his state in this game a little bit. Logan Gilbert pitching for the Mariners could certainly duel Misiorowski here, man. Gilbert is pretty good. 3.39 ERA this year, 1.05 whip. Like pretty much all Seattle's pitchers, he's been better at home. 2.29 ERA at home. Will you like the Mariners? Yeah, we'll see. They letting you down. They won last, or no, they didn't win last night because I needed them to win last night and they didn't. Logan Gilbert, Seattle's won 4 of his last 5 starts. The only one they lost was at the Bronx. So, I mean, you can kind of give him a break for not pitching that well at the Bronx. Very difficult task. Last month, he had a 23-2 strikeout walk ratio, even though he did have a 5.87 ERA, which isn't that good, but his other stats indicated that he was not pitching poorly. But he did give up 5 home runs, so he's got to keep that in check. But 4 of his last 5 starts have all been on the road. So I think you got to give him a little bit of a pass for some of these starts, man. And 1 against the Cubs, 1 against the Yankees, 1 against Detroit. This month, he has a 21-7 strikeout walk ratio, so his walk rate has been a little bit high, but the home runs have gone down again. He has a 2.93 ERA this month. So he is overall pitching pretty well. And he has okay numbers against the Brewers in 32 at-bats, 8-2 strikeout walk ratio, 250 average, and a little bit of a high 742 OPS. But most of the damage is from Yelich, who has 2 of the home runs, 3 for 6 off him. So I think Gilbert could certainly pitch well in this game. I would lean to Seattle in this game, and I would lean to the under as well. But the problem is, well, Seattle, I mean, the market is agreeing with both of those. So Seattle is up from -115 to -123. Milwaukee's very public. I think, again, the public might be onto this now. They know Misiorowski. They know Milwaukee's extremely hot right now. So the public sees this and think, oh, my God, Milwaukee's an underdog. Very tempting for the public to want to jump in on Milwaukee as an underdog here. 84% of tickets, only 79% of the cash, though, on Milwaukee. Seattle up from -115 to -123. So the money looks like it is coming in against the public on Seattle. And the money's coming in on the under, with the total getting more juice on the under 7. I wish I would have given this out as a play probably on the under if I got to it fast enough. If it was still at under 7 at -115, I would have given it out. Or maybe even -120, but I don't even see that anymore. I see at best under 7 -125, and then I see mostly 6.5s. And you know me, 7 is a key number in baseball because it breaks the 3-3 tie. So I will basically never go under the 6.5. I just don't think it gives you enough leeway, but I would lean to the under in this game. 51% of tickets, 63% of the cash on the under. Looks like the market read is saying the under as well. Those are the ways that I lean in that game. I think both bullpens are actually not that bad, even though I made a point that Milwaukee had used a lot of their better relievers up until last night, but they gave their better relievers a little bit of a rest yesterday because they had the game in hand. So I think both bullpens are in okay shape coming into this one. And yes, Milwaukee does have a good offense on the road, but this is a pitcher-friendly park with 2 good pitching staffs here, man. So I think, and 2 good starting pitchers. So I think the under is still the correct way to look, probably the strongest way to look in that game, but also a lean to Seattle in that game. Minnesota at the Dodgers. The Dodgers got back on track with a win yesterday, breaking their loss streak. 5-2 with a deep fly out with multiple runners on base to end the game there. And everybody kind of made a big deal of it. It wasn't that big of a deal. Ohtani pitched 3 innings and he homered in the game, I'm pretty sure. The crazy Ohtani. The Dodgers did use a couple of their back-end relief guys, but they didn't really use a lot of their relievers. So the Dodgers bullpen going to be a little bit better rested coming into this. Both bullpens are fairly rested, though, coming into this game now after yesterday. So the bullpens are not in terrible shape, but they're not great bullpens. They have not been pitching that well recently. Simeon Woods Richardson is pitching for Minnesota. 3.95 ERA, 1.33 whip, though. So even though his ERA is good, his whip is not very good. He's been worse on the road, 4.96 road ERA. He's been pitching a little bit better recently, allowing 1 or fewer earned runs in 4 straight starts and 5 of the last 6. But even though Minnesota has won 3 of his last 4 starts, I'm not ready to trust Richardson. Over his last 3 starts this month, even though he has a 1.23 ERA, he has a 10-6 strikeout walk ratio, which is not that great. So Richardson, he's okay, but I still don't think he's that trustworthy. The Dodgers have basically never seen him before, though. Conforto was 0 for 1 with a walk off of him. But other than that, Dodgers have not seen him, so maybe he has a little bit of an edge in that respect, but I don't know if we could trust him. Obviously, I think the better of these 2 pitchers by far is Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. 2.59 ERA, 1.04 whip. He's pitching well. A little bit worse at home, though. 3.38 ERA at home. He's been really kind of all over the place, to be honest. Like, it's basically like he either comes out and he dominates or he does terribly. And there's almost no in between. Although his overall numbers are great. Still has a 2.45 ERA this month, even though he had a bad start against Milwaukee where he didn't even make it out of the first inning. His other 2 starts were 7-inning starts where he only gave up 1 run across those 14 innings and had a 15-3 strikeout walk ratio. So those were good starts for him. But they were against the White Sox and the Giants, who are not good offenses, but still Minnesota's not a very good offense. Bader is their only hitter who's seen him before, and yes, that means he jacks off, I think. He fips, right? He's 3 for 5 off of Yamamoto lifetime, so he's hit him okay, although both of his outs have been strikeouts. But the rest of Minnesota's lineup has never seen Yamamoto before, so they're unfamiliar with him, so I don't know, man. I mean, maybe a first 5 under makes sense in this game with just both offenses having some unfamiliarity here. The total's sitting at 8.5. 70% of tickets, 76% of the cash on the over, though. And the Dodgers have been scoring a lot at home, man. That's the one thing the Dodgers still do is they score a lot at home, even though their pitching has not really been that good. So I don't know if I necessarily would want to really do that. I don't really necessarily want the Dodgers either. They're up from -210 to -223, 92% of tickets, 95% of the cash. So it is a stay away. Randy Johnson, the big unit. I like Randy Johnson, man. What's wrong with Randy Johnson? He was good, man. He was an ugly motherfucker, really tall, and he could throw really hard. Joe Madden's brother, is that true? Is your pump supply guy? That's crazy. Joe Madden's brother is not like a baseball coach of some kind. Anyway, we're ready for it now, right? Let's get to the best bets, man. This has been a long episode here. Let's get to it. I got 2 plays in Major League Baseball here, and you know what they are already probably because I skipped them, and I basically already alluded to what they are. Number 1, the Reds. We're going to join the public on this one, man. I don't even care. We're going to go Reds money line. Even though they're on the road, they're a favorite. It looks almost too obvious to take them, but I think it's the right way to go in this game, man. I think it's a complete mismatch in every possible way with Cincinnati in this game against the Washington Nationals. I almost said Wizards. Washington beat Cincinnati 10-8 yesterday. So, I mean, first of all, come on, man. So Cincinnati might be a little bit angry about that and bounce back there. Washington does not really have a particularly good offense, man. I mean, we can look at the hitting here. Cincinnati's middle of the pack, 15th in OPS, and Washington's worse. They're in the bottom third, basically 21st. So we do have a slight offensive edge with Cincinnati, so we can start out with that. Both bullpens saw a lot of usage yesterday, so both bullpens are blown out, which is probably going to be bad because Washington looks like they're basically going with a bullpen game in this game. So, and Washington's bullpen is terrible anyway, so you have a completely unrested Washington bullpen. Their bullpen is second worst in baseball. Actually worst in ERA and actually tied for worst in whip now because I have this arranged by whip. So Washington has actually overtaken the A's again. Congratulations, Washington. You're the worst bullpen in all of Major League Baseball again. And Washington's bad, overly worked bullpen is going to have to pitch most of this game as well. That does not seem like a good setup to me at all for Washington. And for the starting pitching, I think we have a huge advantage with Chase Burns for the Reds, and I think we're maybe even getting a little bit of value here because people are going to say, why would I want to do that when he has a 6.19 ERA? By the way, my guy right here, Roman Anthony, 6.19 ERA for Chase Burns and 1.63 whip. Yeah, his numbers are terrible this year. He's been really bad on the road, 10.8 road ERA, so why do we want to do this? I mean, it's an outlier, man. He had one really horrendous start against my Boston Red Sox, by the way. And in his other three starts, he went 4 2/3 or more in the other three. He allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all three. This month, he has a 2.53 ERA. And yes, he needs to get his walk number down. He's had an insane strikeout rate, though, so far this year, man. 25 strikeouts in 16 innings pitched, 9 walks. Yes, it's too many walks. Yes, 3 home runs. There's too many home runs to have allowed. 17 hits in 16 innings. You'd like to see that be a little bit better as well, but he is a strikeout guy, man. Chase Burns is a hard-throwing, very highly touted young pitcher, and he has faced some good offenses, man. I mean, look at how he had to start his career by facing the Yankees, the Red Sox, and Philadelphia, with those last 2 being on the road. So, I mean, that's a really tough draw. And then he got an easy go of it to face Colorado, had a lot of strikeouts in that game, 10 strikeouts. I think Burns is the real deal, man. I mean, that was a tough ask to face all those good hitters. I think he's going to do well here. He's a really talented young pitcher. He's facing another pretty bad offense in Washington and an offense that has never seen him before. So I think Burns can get this done for us today. I think he should pitch well, and he's going up against Brad Lord. But like I said, this is a bullpen game. Lord, I mean, he's been fine. 3.46 ERA, 1.25 whip. Worse at home, though. 4.15 ERA at home, and he's allowed 4 of the 5 home runs he's allowed at home. But we don't even really have to handicap him that strongly because he's going to be out of this game pretty fast, man. I mean, he's an opener. He's only going 1 to 2 innings in every single game. So you're going to get Washington's bullpen for 7 innings in this game probably, and it is an atrocious bullpen. So, I mean, come on, man. If the Reds aren't able to score in this game, I don't even know what to say. So that's what we're getting, even though the Reds have never seen Lord before. I don't think he's going to be much of a Lord in this one, man. I think the Nationals are going to get burned in this game. So we're gonna go with the Reds in this game. Even though the money looks like it's disagreeing with me now, initially it looked like the money came in on Cincinnati up from -120 to -135. Yes, they are public, 76% of tickets, only 74% of the cash. I think maybe it's a pricing thing where at that price, maybe there's some buyback coming the other way, but I think Cincinnati is the only way to look in this game, man. It's a cheap enough price that I think the money line is fine. If you want to go run line, you could do that as well. I think Cincinnati has a huge starting pitching edge, bullpen edge. I mean, of course, because they're going up against a bullpen game, and they have the better offense, too. So I like it. That's where we're going to go with that one. Cincinnati Reds. You guys are fighting over King Retard, I guess. Oh, that's me? I'm the king? Well, thank you, I guess. And then the last game, which I already told you what it's going to be, is Yankees Blue Jays under the total of 9. I believe the market read is agreeing with me on this one. I think we're getting value on this, man. The odds makers have thrown out a total of 9 here, I think partially because people are going to look at this. The public's going to look at this and only go one way on this. They're only going to go with an over, man. I mean, it's Yankees and Blue Jays, right? Like, they know that both of these teams have the ability to hit. They have no idea who Schlittler is for the Yankees. Schlittler. But I'm going to tell you why I think the under is the right way to go in a second here. And maybe they don't even trust Scherzer anymore, even though he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, he is old at this point. 71% of the tickets are on the over, but 64% of the cash on the under. So market read is saying under. I'm also saying under. And the money is actually coming in towards the Yankees. Toronto's down from -130 to -115. 58% of tickets on Toronto. 56% of the cash coming in on the Yankees. So the money is agreeing with, well, not agreeing necessarily, but indicating on the Yankees, which I think is also kind of an indicator that the under is making sense here because that means probably that the professional bettors are expecting Schlittler to pitch pretty well. They're expecting the Yankees bullpen to be okay in this game. And we know the Yankees' advantage here is that they have the better offense over Toronto. But we're going with the under here, man. So that is what I'm going to explain right now. I don't think either bullpen saw a ton of usage yesterday, and both bullpens are okay. But because they didn't see a whole lot of usage yesterday, I think we can do that. We can go with the bullpens here. Toronto actually is the 6th best hitting team, by the way. So my mistake. Their offense is actually really good. So we're looking at the number 1 and number 6 offenses, OPS-wise here. But you know me, I like pitching. So the odds makers probably throw in a 9 because they had to. But usually that indicates they're expecting a higher scoring game. And in this game, I don't think so. Toronto actually has the 4th rated bullpen in baseball, in whip at least. They are a good bullpen, so we get that going for us here. Yankees are right there in the middle of the pack at 15th, which isn't terrible. They've been okay, and because of the high leverage relief men, I think still being basically available here, I think we can go with this, and we're going to roll with both starters here. Schlittler is pitching for the Yankees. He's only had 1 start in his Major League career so far. He's a trader, though. He's from Walpole, Mass., so what the fuck is he doing pitching for the Yankees, man? Come on, brother. But Schlittler, I think, is actually a pretty good pitcher, man. I handicapped him going into his first game. He gave up some runs. He has a 5.06 ERA, but a 1.13 whip indicates he was not putting a ton of guys on base. Again, it was only 1 start. It was at home against Seattle. Maybe he had a little bit of nervousness in his Major League debut, but he was pretty good. I mean, in 5 1/3, he only gave up 4 hits. He gave up 2 home runs, which is really why he gave up those runs. He somehow still limited Seattle to 3 runs. I mean, when you give up 2 home runs, that's a recipe for giving up a ton of runs, but he didn't. He had 7 strikeouts, so that means his stuff was there, man. He was fooling Major League hitters, so that is a good sign. Seattle is an okay offense, too, and he had 2 walks, but I think he can only really kind of get better from there, man. Of course, Toronto, even though, yeah, they have a decent hitting offense, at least right now, they've never seen Schlittler before, so I think Schlittler can get us into this game, man. I think he has a little bit of an upper hand here because he is a good pitcher, and this offense hasn't seen him before. And we have a crazy age gap here in memory of he's going up against the Hall of Fame pitcher Scherzer, which I think that's going to make Schlittler be kind of motivated here, man, because, oh, my God, I get to go up against, a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame, basically. I get to try to duel against Scherzer. That's crazy, right? So I think that's going to motivate him. Scherzer, hilariously, is 16 years older, so there's another nice age gap there. Today's the age gap day, man. Go out and find a really young girlfriend there, man. For all you guys in your 40s, go out and start dating a 21-year-old. Be Bill Belichick, basically. Max Scherzer, he's 40 years old. He's still having an okay season, 4.7 ERA, 1.26 whip. He's been basically the same home and away. I mean, he's still effective for the most part. He's only made, 5 starts so far this season. Toronto's won his last 3 starts, including one against the Yankees. He pitched pretty well against the Yankees in Toronto. 5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, no walks, 2 earned runs, 3 hits. So he does have the ability to still pitch against good offenses. He's not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any start this season, so that's decent. I mean, he's been at least holding opposing offenses down enough to keep his teams in the game, and that's really what we need. We just need Scherzer to go about maybe 5 innings in this game, not allow that many runs, turn it over to the bullpen, and help keep this game under. And his numbers against the Yankees are good. I mean, they're very familiar with him, 147 at bats, and yes, he's not what he once was, I know. A lot of these numbers are going to be from the past when Scherzer was better, but still, 64 strikeouts and only 8 walks, although 20 strikeouts for Goldschmidt, but still, and 10 for Bellinger. I mean, they have whiffed a lot against him, and 14 for Stanton, but still, 64 to 8 strikeout walk ratio is crazy. He's held the Yankees to a 204 average and 633 OPS, so Scherzer has pitched well against them. I think he can get it done for us here, man, to keep this thing under, so that's going to be the play there, under the total in Yankees-Toronto. And we'll see what happens with the Yankees, because the Yankees lost again yesterday, even though it was a revenge spot. Rodon did not pitch well, and he got outpitched by Gausman yesterday, which I did not really think was going to happen. So the Yankees are still looking for revenge, which might be part of the reason why the money's coming in on the Yankees, too, is Toronto has now won 5 straight games against the Yankees, and Toronto has now won 4 games in a row again. Very hot Toronto team, but I also think part of the reason why the money's coming in on the Yankees is just that the professional bettors are basically saying, we know that the Yankees are still the better team over Toronto, even though Toronto temporarily has the better record over the Yankees, which I hate saying that as a Red Sox fan, but I think it's basically saying we're getting a little bit of value on the Yankees as an underdog because they are the better team. So I think that's probably what's going on here. No, I did not make money. I make money every day, but it's a very small amount of money. All you Twitter trolls can fuck off, by the way. I should probably not even bring up any of the comments. Should I stop streaming to Twitter, by the way? You guys can let me know, but that's going to do it for me today. Although actually maybe Ari, I apologize, Ari, if you're not trying to troll me. If you're asking a genuine question, I apologize. But I don't know if we're talking about like betting or whatever. My bets lost yesterday, but I will clarify. I'm not actually making these bets right now because I don't have enough money that's illiquid right now to bankroll it. All right, I apologize, sir. I'm sorry. I've had a lot of people coming at me from the Twitter chats. I apologize, man. I'm sorry. I've gotten you wrong, sir. But thank you for being a fan, man. No, I lost yesterday. I'm on a somewhat of a bad run right now after I was hot for a while. Going into the All-Star break ended my momentum, man. I was hot going into the All-Star break. Upcoming podcasts. I just did another episode with Jose. No Way Jose. We did another Hoppa reading, which is probably going to be out on his channel at least soon. And there is going to be an interview that I did with Jake Shields at Bohemian Grove that's going to be out at some point as well, which I think is only going to be on Twitter. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. I apologize to everybody that I'm being a dick to, except for that first guy that was in the chat. I don't even remember his name, but whoever that guy was, the only troll of the day, which I shouldn't have even brought him up. But anyway, the two plays today: Cincinnati Reds money line, Yankees Toronto under the total. That's what I'm doing today. Learn to toad on Twitter. Learn to toad on Instagram. I put all this out on Instagram as well in short form, just the plays. If you want to follow me there, please do. Actually, please subscribe, follow, comment. Give me. Yeah, man, like, subscribe, etc. I'm on YouTube, obviously. These go up onto the audio platforms as well, which is not getting any traction. And I have Covered in Uke, which is my ukulele channel on YouTube. So I do uke covers, as most of you know. So you can check that out as well. Like, subscribe, help me out on everything, man. And patreon.com/learntotode, where you can subscribe to the Patreon. And at the higher couple of tiers, you get access to a Spotify feed of all my ukulele covers that I'm putting up as I put them up. And you get to request covers from me as well and get prioritized covers. So a huge workout routine. Oh, you are a fan, man. Clint. Thank you, sir. I apologize. Yeah, fuck Koss is right. That's right. Ari, I apologize, man. And if I win, then I have to do less. Oh, shit. I understand that. Yeah, so my betting determines how much I have to work out. That's interesting. I might be down for that, actually. I don't know. I'll have to talk to Clint. I got to get Clint back on the show, man. I am working out, by the way. The weights behind me are not totally unused. I've been doing it. I've lost 15 pounds this year, I think, or 13, something like that. So I've changed my diet. I've been exercising a little bit more as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to build up the muscle like Cole has, but I don't know. Can we see a bicep start coming in at all? I don't know, but I don't know. I'm doing all right, at least. But I should have Clint back on the show, man, to do some more bald. I'll ask him if he wants to do an NFL preview show or something like that, maybe. So maybe some other things are in the works. That's going to do it again. Thanks, guys, for hanging out this morning, and let's get some wins today. Thank you, sir. And I'm unstoppable, except I need to start making income again. But that's going to do it. Peace, everybody.